Well, the situation in the Middle East is likely to dominate G7 talks, which got underway in Canada this morning. National Affairs correspondent Jane Norman is in Canada for the summit. She joins us now. Jane, let's start with the Middle East because leaders are certainly looking to Donald Trump to get some sense of his strategy here. Has he offered any insights so far?
Well, interestingly, right at the start of the talks, which opened this morning in Kananaskis, the host, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney, really set the tone. He told his counterparts that they're at a turning point in history where the world is looking to them for leadership. And Donald Trump, in many ways, is pivotal here because he will play a big role in any kind of breakthrough in this escalating tension in the Middle East. Now, ahead of this summit, Mr. Trump told reporters that there would be peace soon between Israel and Iran. And so leaders are keen to figure out or get some sort of sense of his strategy here to achieving that objective. In his bilateral meeting with Mark Carney, the US president said that Iran has to make a deal. He confirmed that the US had heard through back channels from the Iranian officials about the prospect of de-escalation. But in a sign that unity is going to be very hard to achieve, or perhaps is already breaking down at this G7 summit, there is a draft statement being circulated among G7 leaders regarding their demands or their hopes for a de-escalation in the Middle East. Donald Trump, we understand, is not looking to sign that. Here's what he had to say about Iran earlier.
They'd like to talk, but they should have done that before. I had 60 days and they had 60 days, and on the 61st day I said, we don't have a deal. They have to make a deal, and it's painful for both parties, but I'd say Iran is not winning this war, and they should talk, and they should talk immediately before it's too late.
Jane, we know that trade and tariffs are very high on the agenda, but it doesn't really look like the president's backing down on this.
Absolutely not. He has made it very, very clear that he still believes and will always believe in the use of tariffs. And this is the first gathering of world leaders where they've really been able to collectively confront Donald Trump about his sweeping tariffs that he unleashed just a few months ago. The Trump administration is hurriedly trying to sign new trade agreements with various countries. And so leaders are using the opportunity of this summit to lock in one-on-one talks with Donald Trump to try and secure an agreement to, at the very least, soften the blow from these damaging tariffs. But in his one-on-one with Mark Carney, he suggested a deal could be imminent between the United States and Canada, but made it really clear that he's not backing down on his tariffs. Here's what he had to say.
I have a tariff concept, and Mark has a different concept, which is something that some people like. But we're going to see if we can get to the bottom of it today. I'm a tariff person. I've always been a tariff. It's simple, it's easy, it's precise, and it just goes very quickly.
Well, no mincing words there. Finally, Jane, the Prime Minister Anthony Albanese is there. So what's on his agenda today?
Yeah, he's got a pretty packed program of diplomacy today, meeting South Korea's leader as well as the Secretary General of NATO. But it is tomorrow, local time, when Donald Trump will be heading to Kananaskis to meet G7 leaders, including Donald Trump, for their first face-to-face meeting. And as he prepares to go into that meeting, Anthony Albanese has some pretty clear objectives. He needs to talk to Donald Trump about the removal of tariffs, about staying the course on the AUKUS submarine pact, and he also just needs to start building a rapport with a US president who's notoriously unpredictable. So no doubt he's in talks with, or he's speaking to his own counterparts, perhaps Keir Starmer, Mark Carney, to get some tips from them about just how to handle Donald Trump.
I'm sure he would welcome all tips. Jane Norman, thank you.